Right now on Good Morning America First Look, the source of the parasite outbreak that's making so many Americans sick.
Wild weather. Parts of Texas seeing nearly a year's worth of rain in 3 days. And in the Midwest and Northeast, dangerous air quality as wildfire smoke moves farther south today. When to know if you should wear a mask.
President Trump's primetime address to the nation on U.S. election security and China. We sort through the documents he just declassified.
A major development after that deadly ICE shooting in Maine, what we're learning about the officer's past.
This stunning moment, a paralyzed man regains the sensation in his hand to feel the touch of his loved ones again. The technology making it possible.
Plus, a major recall of Pillsbury dinner rolls.
The suspect trying to escape police by jumping into the ocean.
And the world's first robot MMA fight event.
From ABC News, this is Good Morning America First Look.
Happy Friday, everyone. I'm Hanna Battah.
And I'm Sophie Flay. We begin with the source of that parasite outbreak that's making so many Americans sick.
Nearly 7,000 cases, and now some answers.
This morning, a source familiar with the investigation says the outbreak of cyclosporiasis, the severe stomach bug spreading across the country, has now been linked to shredded iceberg lettuce served at Taco Bell locations in these 5 states: Michigan, Ohio, Indiana, Kentucky, and West Virginia. A source telling ABC News the FDA has identified a single supplier of the lettuce from Mexico. Taco Bell now voluntarily removing the lettuce, saying the affected ingredient from our supplier is being indefinitely removed from our supply chain nationwide and will be replaced within 24 hours in select states. The CDC has reported nearly 7,000 cases across 34 states, including nearly 100 hospitalizations. The bulk of the cases have been in Michigan.
Every day, it's an additional 500 to 600 cases per day. And so we're waiting to see if this is the end and whether we have, some light at the end of the tunnel.
Cyclosporiasis causes fatigue, fever, upset stomach, and weight loss. Some people have been sickened for up to 3 weeks.
I don't think I've ever experienced stomach cramps like that before. It was definitely a very unique feeling. I knew it wasn't just a normal stomach bug.
It's important to note not all Taco Bell locations in those 5 states had the lettuce in question. The CDC says illnesses in other states could be unrelated.
Now to the wild weather. Parts of Texas seeing nearly a year's worth of rain in 3 days, while in the Midwest and Northeast, dangerous air quality as wildfire smoke moves south.
This morning, massive plumes of wildfire smoke choking the Midwest and Northeast for a 3rd day. 115 million Americans are under air quality alerts across 19 states. From Chicago to Detroit to New York, some of America's biggest cities shrouded in a thick orange haze, skylines vanishing, the smoke blotting out the sun. In Philadelphia, the Mets-Phillies game had to be moved up 1 hour because of the smoke.
Not the greatest idea, I guess, to come out here and play in this type of weather, but, we're doing it.
The FAA slowing arrivals into Philadelphia's airport, pilots seeing ash in the air.
Yeah, it's adhering to the windshield. I've never seen it stick to the windshield like this.
Milwaukee reporting its worst air quality on record. In Toledo, Ohio, readings topped 800. Anything over 300 is considered hazardous.
When you get to these burgundy dots, that's hazardous.
When the air quality index tops 200, experts advise everyone to wear a mask. And the threat could linger. More than 850 fires are still burning across Canada, with 30 new fires in the past day alone. Meanwhile, in Texas, a different disaster. Walls of water inundating hill country. Search and rescue teams in Kerrville pulling families from attics and windows in the dead of night. Richard Shelton's 11-year-old daughter woke him up at 2 a.m.
The door broke open and more water came rushing in, and so we went to the attic. I was scared the house was going to break apart, and I didn't know what would happen after that.
In Uvalde, this rescue from the air. A state helicopter crew dropping down to a flooded home and lifting out this family, along with their 2 dogs. Receding waters revealing the devastation.
And in this Kerrville neighborhood, the power of the floodwaters is just undeniable. It rammed this SUV up the tree and another car into the house.
At least 2 people were killed when they were swept away by floods. A woman in her car and a man in his RV. This RV park was hit hard, but everyone here got out before the flood.
As for the wildfire smoke, it could spread as far as Virginia today before clearing out this weekend, but the conditions could return next week.
Now to President Trump's address to the nation last night on election security. The president detailing claims that China interfered with the 2020 election. Here's ABC's Lionel Moise.
This morning, new reaction to President Trump's primetime address on election security, including his claim that China interfered with the 2020 election.
Believed to be the largest compromise of election data in history, resulting in China's illicit acquisition of 220 million U.S. voter files. That information includes names, addresses, phone numbers, political party preferences, and other sensitive data.
Trump did not provide evidence that any votes were altered, but he declassified documents which he says reveal vulnerabilities in our election systems. ABC News reviewed the documents and found they describe efforts to obtain, not alter, voter records, many of which can be obtained legally from states. Democrat Mark Warner, vice chair of the Senate Intelligence Committee, calls Trump's claims bogus.
The conclusion of the intelligence community, the conclusion of the Trump intelligence community, was no influence that changed any votes, no interference, no attempt to try to successfully change votes, hack systems.
Republicans at the state level responding. Georgia's Secretary of State saying, "I will review the reports and supporting documents." Ohio's Secretary of State saying, President Trump offered some concerning information that needs to be fully examined and investigated. Trump is pushing lawmakers to pass his Save America Act, which would require a photo ID and proof of citizenship to vote. Trump says a review found 278,000 non-citizens registered to vote in federal elections.
I've also ordered DHS to notify every state about non-citizens on their voter rolls and direct them to remove all ineligible voters from the lists immediately.
Homeland Security is expected to hold a news conference today related to the president's claims where we could learn more specifics. Hannah, Sophie.
Lionel, thanks. President Trump's media company is planning to sell early access to posts on his Truth Social platform. The move would allow Wall Street firms and other companies to gain immediate access to Trump's announcements. Watchdog groups claim the plan is corrupt. President Trump's teleprompter operator is accused of placing bets on Trump's speeches through the prediction market Kalshi. Sources say Gabriel Perez won more than $100,000 using inside knowledge to wager on what Trump might say. Perez is said to be talking with regulators to settle the allegations.
New details about the deadly shootings involving immigration officers in Texas and Maine. The shootings now prompting changes in the way ICE handles traffic stops. ABC's Karen Hua has those details. Karen, good morning.
Sophie, good morning. The Associated Press reports the officer allegedly involved in that fatal ICE shooting in Biddeford, Maine this week has a history of mental health issues. The AP reports the officer's relatives say he has a history of violent behavior, but they insist he acted in self-defense. 25-year-old Johann Sebastian Guerrero of Colombia was killed. Officials say Guerrero was not a target of the investigation, but they say he tried to flee the scene, and the officer fired his weapon, fearing for public safety. ICE says the officer involved has nearly a decade of federal law enforcement experience. Meanwhile, in Houston, we heard from a lawyer for the family of Lorenzo Salgado Araujo, who was fatally shot last week. She says bags of a white crystal-like substance seen in Salgado Araujo's van were not drugs, but salt, part of a homemade electrolyte mix used by outdoor workers in the Texas heat. The district attorney says any test results on that substance will have no bearing on whether the shooting was justified. In the wake of these shootings, sources say ICE has issued new protocol for traffic stops, requiring at least one officer with a body camera and another with specialized training. Hannah?
Karen, thank you. People in West Hollywood are trying to dry out after this massive water main break. A rupture in a 110-year-old pipe turned Sunset Boulevard into a raging river, damaging or destroying hundreds of cars. It also created a massive sinkhole.
Time now for your Friday weather.
Good
Good morning. Winding down the flood-threatened West Texas, some storms into the Intermountain West, a lot of heat in the Great Lakes, smoke from the Midwest into the Mid-Atlantic today, some improvement in the Northeast. Our front moves from the Great Lakes into the Northeast. That's going to knock down the smoke as we go into the weekend, but still heavy smoke today from the Midwest into the Mid-Atlantic. We get a break in the Northeast, but the smoke comes back on Saturday, finally erasing it on Sunday with some showers. More rain in Texas, but that's winding dry on a drier pattern into next week. That's your forecast. I'm ABC News senior meteorologist Lee Goldberg. Have a great weekend.
Coming up, gas prices hit another milestone.
Also ahead, the fallout after this low flyover by the Blue Angels. The decision now made.
And later, hear from the man in charge of the World Cup halftime show, featuring everyone from Madonna to Justin Bieber. A bird strike has been identified as the likely cause of this sightseeing helicopter crash in New York's Hudson River, which killed 6 people last year. Investigators say the remains of several geese were found in the wreckage. There will be no discipline for this low Blue Angels flyover in Pensacola, Florida. It happened during an air show, but took many beachgoers by surprise. The acting secretary of the Navy says there was no problem with it and there will be no reprimands.
As the war with Iran heats up, gas and diesel prices are on the rise. Average diesel prices have once again hit $5 a gallon. That's a 33% increase since the war began. Higher diesel costs could mean higher delivery costs for many products. The U.S. just carried out a 6th consecutive night of attacks targeting Iranian infrastructure, including bridges. Reuters reports Iran is telling rebels in Yemen to prepare to block access to the Red Sea if the U.S. attacks Iran's energy sites.
Back here at home, authorities have released new video of a deadly police shooting, sparking more questions and protests.
The family of Kadir Skinner, the 19-year-old fatally shot by a police officer in Wilmington, Delaware last month, is now calling for criminal charges after the release of body camera footage they say contradicts police accounts of the shooting.
What we saw and what we witnessed was an unjustified killing.
The footage shows an officer firing his weapon while yelling commands.
Drop that gun!
Skinner, seen here on the ground, repeatedly tells officers he's unarmed and cannot breathe.
I can't breathe.
Video from another body camera appears to show an officer picking something up from the grass nearby. Police later said they recovered a loaded gun from the scene.
Secure the gun.
I have it.
Regardless if he had a gun or not, he still shot in the back of one of the police not having been a threat.
Police have said that Skinner came out of a home waving a gun at a crowd before officers opened fire.
The video that I saw, I didn't see a crowd and I didn't see Kadir coming out of a residence. I did not see a crowd and I did not see Kadir point a firearm at a crowd.
The family says Skinner was running from a dog. The family has also questioned why it took officers more than 2.5 minutes to put him in a police vehicle and take him to the hospital where he died. State officials say the investigation is ongoing.
The family said it plans to file a wrongful death lawsuit against the city.
Coming up, a major recall of Pillsbury dinner rolls.
Also ahead, technology helped a paralyzed man regain the sensation in his hand to feel the touch of his loved ones again.
More beaches have been closed on the East Coast because of shark sightings. This time, multiple beaches on Long Island, New York yesterday. It comes a day after we showed you this great white, which trackers say is likely headed to Cape Cod to feed.
In Southern California, an assault suspect used his swimming skills to try to escape from police. The man jumped into the ocean off Pacific Palisades and treaded water for about 90 minutes as officers and lifeguards looked on. He was eventually caught after trying to swim farther out.
Now to a remarkable story. Technology helping a paralyzed man regain the use of his hand in a first-of-its-kind procedure.
A medical breakthrough is offering new hope to people living with paralysis. Keith Thomas was paralyzed from the chest down in a pool accident 6 years ago.
I dove in and then I just blacked out. Next thing you know, there was a helicopter on the front lawn. And the next day, The next day I couldn't even move.
He recently joined a trial at the Feinstein Institutes for Medical Research in New York, where doctors implanted 5 microchips in his brain during a 15-hour open skull surgery. Using artificial intelligence, the microchips are able to read his intent to move and then send signals past his injury to his muscles. Researchers call it a double neural bypass.
There are signals from his motor area responsible for movement going to the computer, and signals from the computer are going back to different stimulation points in his body, brain, and spinal cord. And the goal is to restore movement and the sense of touch in a lasting way.
When he joined the trial, Thomas couldn't lift his arms to his face, hold anything, or feel his hands at all. But now he can feed himself, drink from a cup, and even scratch his face.
He's already starting to feel sensations in certain parts of his arm and even wrist. We have started to see some lasting new sensations in his arm that are present even when we turn off the bypass.
The technology giving him back a moment the injury had stolen from him, feeling the touch of a loved one.
It's like, it's unreal, because I haven't felt that in 3 years now.
The team is now planning wider trials with the hope this technology can one day help stroke patients as well.
More than 700,000 Pillsbury dinner rolls are being recalled because they could contain glass. The rolls were distributed in 18 states from California to New York. They were marketed to businesses like bakeries and delis rather than individual consumers. The affected products are listed on our website.
Coming up, the man in charge of the World Cup halftime show.
Also ahead, what 95-year-old William Shatner is about to debut.
And I decided,
Time to check the pulse. We begin with the World Cup final this Sunday, Argentina versus Spain.
We're also looking forward to the first ever World Cup halftime show, an 11-minute extravaganza starring everyone from Madonna to Shakira, as well as Justin Bieber, BTS, and Coldplay's Chris Martin. The organizers are promising, quote, mind-blowing surprises, saying their goal is to unite viewers from around the globe.
This word is used a lot, but it really is a truly historic moment that unites the whole world. It's on track to be potentially the most viewed entertainment event in history.
As for the actual match, Spanish star Lamine Yamal is apparently dealing with some fatigue. He practiced separately from his team yesterday, but he's expected to be good for Sunday. Next, a new frontier for William Shatner. He's going metal.
Shatner, who is 95 years young, has announced he will perform at the Riot Music Festival in Chicago in September for the first live performance of his metal band. In a video message, Shatner said he hopes his fans will be there and he hopes he'll be there. Next, the Mickey Mouse Club is making a comeback.
The latest reboot will air on Disney Plus during the 90s. Version of the show, Britney Spears, Justin Timberlake, Christina Aguilera, and Ryan Gosling got their start. The Mickey Mouse Club first aired on ABC back in 1955. Production on the reboot is expected to begin soon. And finally, robots in the ring.
Yep, a new robot combat league just debuted in China. The contestants are full-sized humanoids that kick and punch and can even evade hits.
The bots also keep fighting if their heads are knocked off. Headlines next. Checking more top stories, a source says the growing parasite outbreak that causes intestinal issues has been linked to iceberg lettuce at Taco Bell locations in 5 states: Michigan, Ohio, Indiana, Kentucky, and West Virginia. Taco Bell says the lettuce has been removed.
Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche met with Jeffrey Epstein abuse survivors last night with his nomination at risk. Blanche said he encouraged the women to go to the FBI with any information they have. One survivor described Blanche as abrasive.
The FDA has approved a new drug to lower cholesterol. It's a pill for people who don't get the desired results from statins.
People from Minnesota to Massachusetts are under air quality alerts because of the Canadian wildfire smoke moving south. It could extend to Virginia today. Meanwhile, at least 2 people have died in the central Texas flooding, 30 inches of rain falling in some locations.
Today's forecast, cooler in the Northeast. Showers in the Midwest could help clear out the smoke. Heavy rain in parts of Arizona and New Mexico.
And lastly, the dog who finally got his wish.
Here's Danny New.
Maybe you've seen this now famous video from a few weeks ago when this poor guy really wanted to take a big chomp out of another dog's hot dog during a Miami Marlins bark at the park night.
This is the stare that millions of people saw when he wanted a hot dog.
He does it
every day.
His name is Jonah, and his mom, Amy, says she screamed on the couch when she saw so many people, including the Marlins, trying to find Jonah on social media.
We really had no idea this was going on. And I'm just like, that looks like Jonah.
Well, Jonah's cuteness garnering social media attention has actually been a big theme in their family's journey with him. In 2020, Amy's husband Peter first saw these photos of Jonah as a puppy on Facebook after he was found in a cage with his brothers in Aruba. An organization Peter volunteered with, called the New Life for Paws Foundation, rescued them and brought them to the States.
It wasn't his intention to adopt. It's just he fell in love with Jonah.
But wait, there's more. At that time, Peter and Amy had not seen each other in 15 years. They used to be friends way back when, but one day Peter shared a picture of Jonah on social media. Amy hearted that photo, and then
He reached out to me and was like, hey, how are you doing? And then it kind of went off from there. So Jonah is not just a hot dog story. Like, he's a big part of our love story.
this is the very good boy right here. But fast forward a few years to this past Sunday, where Jonah was the guest of honor at a Marlins game. Peter threw out the first pitch. The family sat in a suite filled with hot dog-shaped chew toys and a custom doghouse.
Jonah, let's get you your hot dog, buddy.
And yes, Jonah finally got to live the dream and just enjoy a hot dog at the ballpark.
It became bigger than we thought it would.
And I want to make sure I mention, guys, that Amy and Peter actually raffled off 2 of the tickets for their suite to raise money for the organization that brought them Jonah, the New Paws for Life Foundation, and invited the founder to attend as well.
That's your GMA First Look.
Have a great weekend.